All right, I'd like to welcome you to this edition of In the Conference Room with Mark S. Lee, where we talk to business leaders from across Metro Detroit and beyond. I want to thank you all for your outstanding and ongoing support. Feedback is awesome. Thank you very much. My name is Mark S. Lee, of course, and I'm your host. And we're going to continue the conversation with some young entrepreneurs here from Metro Detroit, Mr. Matt Stevens and Josh Stevens. And they have a wonderful, wonderful, unique business concept called Sticker Blitz. Sticker Blitz. Now, hang tight. You're saying Sticker Blitz. What is that? We're going to find out over the next few minutes. Matt and Josh, thanks for joining me in the conference room. How you doing?
Doing well. How are you doing?
I'm
We're
doing
doing
well,
great.
thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely, my pleasure to have you both. Thank you. We're going to have a casual conversation. Let's unpack Sticker Blitz. Exactly what is it?
Yeah, so Sticker Blitz, we're a custom printer. So we print custom stickers essentially. Basically, how it works is a customer will upload a design to our website. They'll get a proof typically within a half hour, sometimes even less. The proof is basically just a preview of how we intend to cut the sticker. And then they can approve that proof, or they can request as many changes as they like. This is a completely free process. You don't have to order to do this. You can just upload your image that you have. Let's say it's like your business logo, or for your soccer team, or maybe you intend to sell them on Etsy, or whatever it may be. You upload your design, you get your proof, you approve your proof, and then we print it next day, all in house, and we get it in the mail, and we get it to you ridiculously fast. So that's basically where we're at right now.
Okay. And Josh, let me come over to you. Let's talk about the two of you. Let's talk about your journey into entrepreneurship. So give me a brief overview of your background. Do the same for Matt, but give me your background in terms of becoming an entrepreneur. Is this something that you dreamt of, or is this something that you kind of stumbled on? Give us an overview. People
Yeah,
understand.
yeah, absolutely. So Matt and I have been, starting companies since we were 13 years old. We've been trying different ventures from selling phone cases on Amazon to making Android apps. We tried a bunch of stuff. Sticker Blitz was, the first one that has hit real traction.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely been something Matt and I have kind of planned on since being very young.
So let me ask you, are you a serial entrepreneur?
Uh, I would use the word entrepreneur up till this point.
Oh, okay. All right, so Matt, let's come back over to you and get your perspective, your background, because a lot of people, I think they're curious as to how people get into entrepreneurship, where you working in corporate, or you go to college, and then from college, the traditional pathway back when I was in college, and way back in the day. You went to high school, you went to college. In my case, I went to graduate school and proceeded even further. Then I got a job in the corporate space, and then ultimately over time, I decided to walk away from the corporate space and I started my own company. What is your journey?
Yeah. So obviously pretty similar to Josh. I'm the older brother, so I was always, talking him into trying to, lose a bunch of money on all these things we did. But that definitely kind of sparked the interest with some of the younger stuff we did, like kind of the app that Josh mentioned. We launched that. I would think I was like maybe 14 or 15, and Josh was maybe 13, and we got over 100,000 downloads, and we actually made a few $1,000s as kids, which was pretty cool.
Yeah,
But kind of to you know I talked Josh into going into computer science. We were both going to go into computer science together and start some kind of software company or something like that. Um, I ended up not doing that, but Josh followed through and got his degree from Wayne State in computer science, School of Engineering, which has been, totally invaluable for everything that we've done here. For me personally, I went into advertising. My first job was, my first, corporate job was downtown at Quicken Loans on the marketing team.
hmm
I was actually on the social media team there. I was there for almost 3 years, and then I went to Leo Burnett, which is
Sure.
one of the larger agencies in the U.S. So I worked there for almost a year. Um, yeah, and so basically, I mean, we saw traction with the project, and we decided to quit our. Josh had a pretty. Josh was had his first corporate job at the time as well, and we decided to take the chance and see if we can actually make this into something.
And Josh, let me come back over to you. Wayne State Engineering, you said, right? I believe over at Wayne State.
Yeah.
So it sounds like the two of you have a very, excuse me, a very close knit relationship. And obviously, Matt's trying to get you to spend some money. You know, you're like, well, brother, wait a minute, brother, maybe. But I'm loving this because you're talking about two brothers coming together. Talk about the closeness of your relationship because some people may have an idea, but then when they approach a sibling, for whatever reasons, I don't want to the personal situation, but for whatever reason, things work out, they may not work out. But talk about working, pitching ideas to each other, working together as brothers. How has that gone thus far?
Yeah, absolutely. It's honestly Matt and I get along really well, both, personally and professionally. I know it's not uncommon to hear stories of, family working together and there's a lot of strife and, things end up going one way or another. But I mean, Matt and I, when it comes to we agree on most things. I'd say close to around 90%. Um, and on that 10% that we don't agree on, just trying to understand the other person's perspective and why they feel the way they do. And it never really ends in an argument. It's just a discussion trying to see, what's, ultimately what's going to be the best for the company. So yeah, I mean, Matt's been great to work with. So
So,
no,
so,
no
so, so,
complaints.
so who's the strategist versus the operational guy that makes sense? Who's the one that thinks bigger picture, thinks longer term about the organization versus the
Yeah,
one that's, yeah.
we definitely kind of overlap roles a bit, but I would say Matt is a bit more on the visionary side, and then I'd be a bit more on the implementation side.
hmm and Matt, let's come back over to you and talk about the you're the visionary, if you will. What is your vision for when you first launched Sticker Blitz? By the way, when did you launch Sticker Blitz? How long ago was that?
About 3.5 years ago.
Okay, 3.5 years ago. When you first launched it, what was the vision for the organization? What were you trying to do with it?
Yeah. So okay. Well, first let me kind of preface that I would say there's plenty of visions on both sides here, and we really do work together as a team,
Hmm
for sure. But yeah, I mean, really, it was and this is kind of maybe a little bit of a contrarian opinion. It was we were really just kind of doubling down on what was working as far as um, customer acquisition and all that kind of thing. We didn't really have any kind of a business plan or anything like that. Um, and I would say, in the beginning, it was the vision was really like, I think we could make something here. It wasn't super specific. So yeah, I guess that would be what I
So,
would say
so,
was.
so, so let's pull it back. Let's pull the lens back a little bit then. So, how did you come up with the idea then? I mean, in terms of was it one of those Bill the night ideas or a gut, or you guys were just having watched the Lions game together and say, "Hey, I got
Yeah.
this idea."
Yeah, so it's interesting actually. The idea is from our perspective, it's not all super original in that, like stickers have been around for, stickers and labels have been around for, hundreds of years at this point. Like I picture in my head, or an example I use to try and like explain to people is there's this clip from It's a Wonderful Life where George Bailey lifts a suitcase above his head. He's like, I want a big one. You know the one I'm talking about?
Right.
It's
Yes, I
got
do.
stickers all over it,
Yes, it
which is
does.
still what people do today with their laptops and suitcases and everything else. So, um, kind of the other part of it was there's actually it's a fairly crowded space as far as companies that sell custom stickers. But the long and short of it is basically we were in the market for buying custom stickers, and I imagine it's kind of like necessity is the mother of all innovation, that kind of thing, or invention. But we were in the market for custom stickers, and there were just no good options. Like there's like you can get at the time you could get quality. You could there wasn't really a ton of speed. You couldn't do like low quantities, like low minimums, that kind of thing. So there were just really wasn't um what we needed. So we
Mhm.
just saw the opportunity. We're like, well, hey, we should try and make this work. And it really turned out to be a lot more complicated than we realized. So we quickly learned why printers have minimums. Obviously, we have no minimums. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. We have no minimums. Everything's printed on the next day, so it's we're super fast, no minimums, and we have the highest quality product you can get. So
Mhm.
um, it's really been a process to get to that point, though.
Yeah. And it sounds like it's been through a process. And I think as you're talking, you're right. I don't think the average person, we understand the idea behind stickers. I mean, you're right. I'm also a professor. I'm an educator. I teach at 3 different universities. Excuse me. And some of my students will come to class, and they do have they have all those stickers on the back of the
Yeah.
laptop. And I used to say to myself, I'm going to ask you two, what are they doing with all these stickers? And what's interesting is I get a sense for what their personality is now through the
Yeah.
stickers, whether it's advertising something or the products that they're using or whatever. I mean, Josh, is that more generational from your perspective to see more younger people using the stickers as opposed to a more mature person who might use the sticker for business purposes? It seems like the younger person is more using to express themselves, whereas a more mature person it might be more so from a business perspective. Or am I way off base?
Well, yeah, I mean, honestly, we've seen people use them for all kinds of things. Obviously, so being the printer, um, we're we're not necessarily dealing with the last person that kind of buys the sticker. A lot of the people that our customers are usually people that are buying to sell them at retail, or like you said, a business like breweries are a really big one for us. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely obviously stickers are used to a large extent for self-expression. Um, but yeah, definitely.
And from a business standpoint, let's jump into the business side of it. Matt, who's your target audience? Who are those most likely to use your product? How are you getting it out there to them?
Yeah, so target audience is so target audience is definitely business owners. So
Large ones, small ones.
small to medium. Obviously, we do have some contracts with some really large companies. Um, but the
But the
our bread and butter is definitely with the small to medium business owners. And to be honest, our way to acquire them, what's been working is just being incredibly product focused and working to have the best possible product possible. And when I say that, I'm referring to the entire process. So from uploading the design to giving your feedback to getting your proof, to the ordering experience, the reordering experience, how easily can I find stuff that I've already ordered, all that kind of stuff. And then also, delivery time and all that is to me being like really product focused. And by having, a really great product, we have just incredible word of mouth. Like a good example would be like, we have a brewery that's referred, it feels like every business in their town to us. Like, the aquarium orders from us now, and, the coffee shop orders from us now, that kind of thing.
How would they use these stickers? So let's take a small business owner. Excuse me, what do they use these, excuse me, what do they use these stickers for? For example, just kind of give us the sense for how these stickers are being used. What messages are you trying to communicate? What are they doing with them?
Yeah, it's mostly marketing. It's mostly like, it's a really cheap way to have repeated brand awareness. Like somebody puts it on their laptop and then, they're advertising your brand everywhere you go. And then they're like, self-identifying with it too. So there's like some social currency there. But really, it's, if a brewery buys it, or if a, aquarium buys it, it's typically their logo, and then they'll
Hmm.
have it in their gift shop, or the breweries will have them next to the register, and people buy them and put them on their stuff and then there's also people that collect them as well. So, but kind of
There
like
you
Josh said,
go.
we're really like the middleman for the end user, because we're pretty much dealing mostly with these businesses.
Is it just the two of you? Are you the only two employees, or have you hired other people thus far?
Yeah, we have a staff of around 35 now.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that because a lot of small businesses, excuse me, a lot of small businesses are grappling with growth and they're grappling with how to find employees. So you have 35 employees. What's been your strategy, your approach to finding employees in a very tight marketplace? And we're reading about these stories, we hear about them, and a lot of small businesses, I put that in close quote, are having a hard time finding people. How you been able to do that?
Yeah. So it has gotten a little easier, more in, the last year or so. Obviously, we started basically May of 2020. So at that point, it was really hard to try and find people.
Yeah.
Um, no one wanted to leave their house, let alone go work somewhere. But as time went on, I mean, there was points it was really difficult. We would put out a job posting on Indeed or whatever site and get maybe 50 applicants, and we'd call all of them and maybe four would answer, and we'd try and schedule
Mm,
with all of them, and maybe one would show up, and then it's kind of like, well, I guess you're hired. um, but so we've had troubles, but one thing I'll say is, over the last year or so, I feel like we've had better luck getting people in, and retention has been super important for us. And one of the things that's helped a lot with that is we actually just in January moved into a new 35,000 square foot facility at 14 and Mound. And that's helped a lot because the building is in really good condition. It's
that's
really nice
awesome.
place to work. So that's helped a lot. It's air conditioned, and we have a lot of other kind of perks along those lines as far as like snacks and whatnot.
So,
So
but are a lot of the people, I'm just curious now, because as we talk about employees, you are finding them wanting to come back to the office or facility, or are you still finding a lot of people, Matt, who they want to stay home, quite frankly, they want to work virtually. We kind of talk about that dynamic right now.
Yeah, so obviously the majority of our staff is in production roles, operating printers, operating laminators, cutters, packing orders, that kind of thing. Um, so it's not really possible to do the work from home. As far as our more I don't know what to call it, like office staff or corporate side, um, we we we've been I mean, it's kind of, there's a lot of opinions on the
Correct.
topic. We're a small innovative company, and we've got big dreams and big goals, and we're working on a lot of stuff that we really want to flip the printing industry on its head here. And so we're looking for people that are excited to get into work, and that are, wanting to, make a difference and do big stuff. So my perspective is that doesn't really happen from home. So we don't do a lot of work from home here. But to add to kind of what Josh said, and like we've done a lot of work to add all kinds of benefits and that kind of thing to make it desirable to be here, as far as health insurance, vision, dental. We offer life insurance and
401k.
paid time off. Like, we basically have it all.
So it's not just about the money anymore, it's about the bigger picture and looking at a person's lifestyle, which is important to them nowadays. Of course, compensation is important to a lot of people, but like you said, health insurance, life insurance, and other opportunities, other benefits. For those of you tuning in, this is an important conversation because many of you have asked me, and I just talked about this, I think, recently. As you all know, I have a business segment on CBS News here in Detroit, and we talk about business issues. And one of the issues that many of you have been dealing with is that of hiring people, finding talent, retaining people. Now, we know that the unemployment rate is down to 3.5 to 3.7% in that overall range right now. And we're going to be going into the holiday season fairly soon. It's hard to say that. I don't think I want to say that just yet. But the point is, if you're thinking about looking to hire people, Josh and Matt will give you some good advice. Let me come back over to both of you. Is it a good idea when you're looking at hiring people? And I do want to come back to Sticker Blitz in a second. Is it a good idea to rely on your friends, rely on your network to get ideas in terms of people they might know, or do you go through a more formal process? You mentioned Indeed.com and other online technologies. How would you address that question?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of that depends on kind of the stage of the company. When we were first starting, we relied heavily on friends and family. It probably wouldn't have really been possible without our personal network at the time. And then, but there does come to be a point where there's potential conflicts with having people that you have some kind
Yeah.
of personal relationship as the company grows. So it's definitely something to be careful with, for sure. Be intentional about it. But I mean, there gets a point where you have to look for something like Indeed or something along those lines.
So when the two of you are watching our beloveds, I call them my beloveds, the Lions, or your favorite college football team, or the Tigers, or whomever, and you guys are together with the families, do you talk business, or do you purely just sit back and say, Dan Campbell, why'd you make that decision? Or, I mean, kind of talk about that dynamic of separating the personal from the business, or do you not separate? Is it always, because you guys seem very close, is it always there?
Yeah, I mean, definitely in the early days, it was hard to talk about anything other than the business. And I know that was, we were from a big family, so it was,
Mhm.
frustrating for some people, getting together and then that being, the main topic. But now, I mean, uh, obviously, it's still a ton of work, but
Yeah,
we're in a different point than we were when we started, so it's a little bit less all consuming, if that makes sense.
yeah, yeah. So let's
But it
look ahead for
definitely still
stick.
comes up, and and
Of course. But let's look ahead as we begin to wrap up with the future of Sticker Blitz. What again, the traditional question, but it's where do you see the organization over the next couple of years in terms of growth? You want to expand into larger businesses, or is your primary business still going to be small to medium-sized organizations?
Yeah. So I mean, we have a lot planned and we have a lot that we're trying to do. The printing industry is a $84 billion industry in the US. So we plan on going for, as much of that as we're able to get. And really, what it comes down to is just obviously we want to break into more, and we have, and we're working on breaking into more products. So it's not just custom stickers, but things like greeting cards, things like essentially some more traditional printed products like business cards, postcards, all that kind of thing, as well as more of the stuff that's kind of in the vein for Sticker Blitz, like adhesive backed materials and so on. But adding a very large catalog and then just being the best possible place to get that stuff. As far as user experience and process for getting your file to look the way you want it to, ordering, ease of reordering, speed of delivery and all that. So we're really I think we have some big goals in mind as far as trying to raise expectations for what can happen in digital printing.
That's awesome. Website information that people can get in touch with you?
Yeah, website stickerblitz.com, stickerblitz.com.
Well, I gotta tell you, this has been a fun conversation. I didn't know what to expect, but I love the interaction between the two of you. It's awesome to see that sibling interaction. And again, for those of you tuning in, I mean, I think it's important if you're talking about starting a business or having a business with a loved one, family member, whatever, have that understanding, have the understanding of the business objectives, each other's roles and responsibilities, continue to communicate with each other. And then you can see these two, they made joint decisions. And I think that's awesome. So I congratulate both of you for the work that you're doing.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining me in the conference room.
Thanks
Yeah,
so much for
absolutely.
having us.
My pleasure. And for all of you, my voice held on, I'm pleased to say, but I want to thank you all for tuning into the conference room. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button at the bottom of the page here. And you can also join me on CBS News Detroit as we continue to talk about business issues affecting Detroit metropolitan area, the region, as well as across the country. All right, we will check you out next time in the conference room for more outstanding guests. In the meantime, go out, make it a great day and make it a great week, and we'll talk to you all soon. Thank you very much.